primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Rosie, for giving us the objectives of Fatima's speech. So with a speech entitled The Leader, please welcome Fatima Afia on the stage.
First, let me share the screen before I begin. Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Leadership is a topic that we all talk all the time, especially in Toastmasters. Now you can see the picture on the screen. This is a picture taken of world leaders of 143 countries celebrating United Nations 50th anniversary. Do you think all of them are good leaders? Can you raise your virtual hands if you think all the world leaders are good leaders? Do you think so? I can see some nods, some hands. Thank you. Some may differ in your opinion. All these leaders may not be good, or some could be good leaders. Now, I attended a meeting 3 days ago. The Speakers Bureau meeting in USA. And the keynote speaker, Magnus Jensen, who is a professor in a community college. He has done research and he has studied leadership. And he said that there are over 221 styles of leadership definitions in the world. And he believes that leadership traits, it depends on the context, how you can practice or apply your leadership style. Now, let me take you back to a story of 3 ladies that you see on the screen. Care Society, I have already talked a little bit in a previous speech. Care Society is a nonprofit organization that I co-founded in 1998 to serve the most vulnerable groups in the society, in the community, in the Maldives. That is people with disabilities. Now, as you can see, there are 3, you can see from their dresses, they look high profile. They are. Now let me introduce the lady on the left, Luba. She joined Care Society when she just left school. And when she joined, she has been in the organization for about 3 months. I brought her into my office and said, Luba, we have got a training in Vietnam for 3 months. It will be good for you to attend this training. She said, Madam, I have never been out of my island. As you know, Maldives, it comprises of thousands of islands. And she has never been out of the country. And I assured her that I will contact a training institution and she will be dropped to the airport, picked up in Vietnam, and she'll be taken to the hotel. I made all that arrangements and she went on that training. Years later, I encouraged her to complete her degree and later on her master's. This is how I believe. As a leader, you empower other people. That's how you can contribute to the society by giving back to the society. The only way as a leader, you empower people, especially women. I believe that education is one thing that will empower women. Now, the lady in the middle, Siddhartha, she also joined Care Society at the same time, same year. She didn't have any qualifications. She had only O-levels. And I sent her to India to complete a community-based rehabilitation program. After she came back, completing her diploma, we were able to introduce community-based rehabilitation program for people with disabilities. Again, this is a phase of my leadership that I was able to empower people with disabilities in our society. Again, I ensured that all these two ladies, they were taught, they were mentored, they were coached, and slowly I got her promoted to positions over the years. Now the lady on the right, Ami, she also joined at the same time, same year. Now you can see after years of working together, these three are best friends. The lady on the left, Luba, she became a consultant, and Siddhartha, she became a minister of gender minister in the Maldives 2 years ago. And Ami, she became the executive director. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can go on as I believe that there is no type of leadership that you can apply in any given situation. It depends on the context. You can practice democratic leadership, you can practice autocratic leadership, or any type of leadership. As Magnus said that, there are 221 leadership styles. In Toastmasters, they give you, when you do an assessment, they give you a structure of leadership styles, which I don't believe in these leadership styles. Why? Because over the course of my years, I know that dealing with one person or several group of people, you cannot apply one type of leadership. You have to analyze the behavior of human beings. Each and every one of us, even here in this group, we are different. So that's how we should try to work with people. And one thing I believe, that is, you have to work together as a team. To me, if you want to work together, then you have to be collaborative. Again, depending on the situation, you can work in different ways. Now, Kathy, I know it's a different personality. If I'm to work with Kathy, I would use the democratic style of working. Ladies and gentlemen, work the best you can. Give back to the community. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima, for the speech. Now we go to the second part of the meeting, or the second speech, which is by Maria. And the evaluator of the speech is Lee. So I would like to hand over to Lee to please help us explain the objectives of Maria's speech. Thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. The purpose of this project is for Maria to apply the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organization. The purpose of the speech today is for Maria to share some aspects of her experience as a leader and/or the impact of the 360-degree evaluation. And the timing is 8 to 10 minutes. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Lee. Maria, can you please tell what the title of your speech is? I think we didn't have that on the agenda.
The title of the speech is Care and Share.
With a speech entitled Care and Share, please welcome Maria Rokia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Back in 2010, I worked as a fundraiser for a charitable organization in Kunur, that is the Little Sisters of the Poor. I would like to share my screen. The name of the organization is the Little Sisters of the Poor. So for one of my projects in Sunday school, my key roles and responsibilities were to ensure that there are funds available day on and day basis to meet the basic requirements of the poor people who were part of the organization. So the charitable organization, it consisted of people who were abandoned and did not have a source of living, and their age group were around 65 to 80 plus. So unlike in the US or UK, in India, we don't support or aid from the government for charitable organization like the one that I used to help and support. The only thought in my mind was, if you decide to help someone, you have to ensure that you put in all the efforts to make sure that you find ways to help the poor. So this was a challenging role at that age. I was young and inexperienced, worked as a teacher, as a part-time teacher, and helped this organization in later half of the day. So I was skeptical initially when I took up this role. However, when I used to look at the poor and was determined to do something for them, that was the driving factor for me. It was a hard task to help an organization as a volunteer, since there was no proper funds coming in and as there was no proper source. So there were some churches which were affiliated to the poor home. We get the funds primarily from there. In case if the funds do not come through from the regular sources, then it's hard to meet their basic requirements. So the charitable organization were mainly run by few volunteers from a Christian missionary, with the intention to ensure that the old and the abandoned should be taken care, and they have their channels in few other cities in India as well. And there were leaders, there were leaders who were assigned in every branch of this organization. However, we were not paid for the duties that we performed. So this was purely out of voluntary, and what you learn from your experience is a takeaway for your life. So as a leader who is in charge of this task, it was difficult to get funds to meet for food, clothing, and medical facilities for 60 plus senior citizens in the home. I realized that to have this task met on a daily basis, I need to ensure that the charitable home needs to be marketed well. So hence marketing was the first strategy that I brought into picture. So this is my group. So this is the home which I volunteered for. So let me explain the strategy plans. To have this implemented successfully, I realized man-force is required. However, it's hard to find people volunteering. So hence, I decided to find like-minded people to join hands with me. My team of 6 members and I decided to come up with various strategies to ensure that funds are coming regularly. So the strategies that my team and I planned were to run stalls in the nearby churches and colleges along with my fellow volunteers, where we can raise funds. The second one is seek help of the students to visit the home on weekends, to help the aged people, spend time with them and engage them in conversation, and to conduct entertaining programs and conduct music classes to raise funds, and also to seek help through social media. So now the execution part of the strategy. So we used to run stalls in the nearby churches and colleges along with Bonhomie volunteers during Sundays, where we could raise funds from people who come to the church. So we raised a good lump sum amount every week, which helped the aged people to get their evening snacks without any hindrance. See, so we executed a second plan by taking the help of the students from all the colleges and schools who could do their bit by visiting the home on weekends to spend time with aged people. So we approached the colleges nearby and requested the management and the secretary of the college to speak to the students regarding the home. And also my team and I conducted a skit in the college to let the students know the difficulties faced by the aged people. We enacted the skit. We enacted their emotions. So how the aged people feel who are there in the home, what about their feelings? We explained every bit in the skit, and this touched the students, and many volunteered themselves to visit the home on weekends. So we used to conduct shows in the organization to raise funds, like we used to conduct music classes, choir groups with the intention of raising fund. Also find out people who celebrate birthdays and big fat weddings, where they were able to contribute their share on those special days to the home. So there was no fancy dinner or outing posts on my social media page. Rather, I started sharing pictures and posts. So I started to share the pictures and post in my social media pages about the charitable institution that I was taking care of. I extended my neighborhood churchgoers, school students, and entrepreneurs as part of my social media channel, which to a larger extent started to help me flow in funds from. So monthly, we were able to give around 60 to 70,000 to the home, which helped the aged people to have their 3 times meals without any hindrance. So this happiness that we saw and warm welcome we received during our every time visit to the home, it motivated us to do more for the home. We continued this project for another 2 years. However, the project said volunteering and organization, the immense pleasure by serving the people who are helpless, helped us to continue this project for another 1.5 years. We felt real satisfaction in the work we did. The main reason for this satisfaction is proper planning and the execution of those plans. The management was very happy with the way we were running the show, and we received accolades from the top management for the initiatives that we brought in. As they were struggling in finding ways to meet their financial requirements, poor people to help the organization. The management decided to expand the network, and of course, I and my team size grew as well. So after completing successful 2 years of leadership at the home for aged people, I was able to hand over my duties to my successor and moved away, since I was no longer living in that same state, as there were other responsibilities and tasks that I had to take over in different places. Even though I was a successful leader in getting my charitable organization popular and overcome the crisis that we're going through, I always felt that I was not an effective communicator. Even the feedback which I got from the organization of the head was the same. So she asked me to open up, speak up, and approach people and speak the way they think and convince them. For that, she advised me to improve my communication skills. I was good at strategizing and planning, but felt I had a lot of scope to improve my interpersonal and public speaking skills. I could have been more effective if I add these skills in addition to what I already possess. So I took up the Toastmasters to ensure that I mold myself to be a good speaker, a good public speaker. So by delivering the speech, I would like to convey the message that proper planning and selecting supportive team members and executing the plan the way you envisioned will surely bring the results and will surely bring success. Thank you. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much, Maria, for the speech. I would actually request our timer to please give 2 minutes of time so that we can send in our feedback to both the speakers, to the first speaker and the second speaker as well. You can send personal feedback. Please, 2 minutes of time, Rocky. Thank you. Thank you, Rocky. We go to the second part of our meeting today, which is the impromptu speeches. So we had the prepared speeches, the 2 speeches, now the impromptu speeches, and then in the end, we'll have the evaluation part. So to help us with the impromptu speeches or giving us the topic, I would like to welcome the topics master of the day, Sabria Musa. Please give a big hand. Sabria.
Thank you. Good day, everybody. Good day. So it's now our Speak on Your Feet time. And I would like to share the screen, Samish. Okay. For our first topic, I would like to invite a very bohemian person in Teresa from our Blue Water Toastmasters Club of Canada. Teresa, are you okay?
Yes.
Right, this is what your topic is going to be. I will share this. Can everyone see that? Consistency is a hallmark of the unimaginative from Oscar. Teresa, all yours.
Madam Table Topics, fellow Toastmasters. Consistency is the hallmark of the unimaginative. Only Oscar Wilde could have said something like that, for sure. I know I love imagination, and I find that imagination sort of influences chaos. And chaos sometimes tries us to be consistent. We know that being consistent helps us to be successful. However, I think we have to remember that there is that point where we have to sort of jump out of the box and sometimes just go for it. I think that consistency is important, but I love being imaginative. Madam Table Topics.
Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I believe in that to jump out of the box, which you just did. And I also did the same thing by asking you to become the first, and you agreed. Thank you so much, Teresa. Let's move on to the next one. Now, this time I would like to ask for some volunteer. Can we have our Toastmasters from Personal Growth who are not speaking today?
Can I volunteer?
And Vita, yeah, our Vice President of Education, your topic will be, it will be red in color. Try not to become, okay, not a woman now, okay? Try not to become a woman of success, rather be a woman of value. Who says that? Albert Einstein. So we'll change it to woman instead of a man. And Vita, all yours.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sabriya. Good day, Toastmasters and dear guests. What does success mean to you? For me, success is just a perception. So there is no point of trying to chase success. When I was young, success meant being the topper. But as I grew older and started going to college, success meant networking and having as many friends as possible. And then when I joined work, success meant promotion. But when the lockdown happened, my entire perspective changed. I was getting paid, I didn't lose my job. That became success for me. And I didn't catch COVID. That was another layer of success for me. And I wondered, I'm not happy in this. I should do something. Then I remembered my granny who stayed all alone in her home in Mangalore. So somehow I made it to that place and I stayed with her for 10 days. Now, this, according to me, is success. Because I believe that this built my character. I learned cooking from her. She's also a social activist kind of person who helps people. So I was able to accompany her in all those tasks. And that gave me peace. And then when I returned to Bangalore, I started helping the neighborhood by helping the senior citizen get their groceries and also by contributing whatever I can to them. And that made me feel really successful. Even in Toastmasters, success doesn't mean getting the best speaker award or any other award for that matter. Success means maybe mentoring my mentees or becoming a better version of myself. The Toastmasters do not chase success. Chase happiness, peace, and values. Because the definition of success constantly keeps changing. Over to the TTM.
Thank you very much, Bohemia and Vita. Yes, so value and success equals to happiness. Happiness is success and success is happiness. Thank you very much. Would can I have the third person for the next topic? Can I invite Dr. Elizabeth?
Sabaria, Kaushal has been raising his hand for some time now.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Kaushal.
Oh, Kaushal, sorry.
Okay.
My screen, I lost my screen for a moment. Thank you. Okay, yours, next one. Thank you for volunteering. Yours will be all progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. Michael Bubak. All yours, Kaushal.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters. I believe strongly that all progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. I've been reading a book called Meditations. It was the personal journal of one of ancient Rome's emperors, Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus.
He wrote in his journal to inspire himself and to write down what he has learned from others. And one of the things he wrote is that you should not be afraid of change, because for literally anything to happen, change must happen. So you should not hesitate to throw yourself into those circumstances in which you are unfamiliar, because those circumstances will change you. And the more challenge and difficulty and even affliction and pain that you allow yourself to endure, the more you will grow and the better a person you will be. So I strongly believe that all progress takes place outside the comfort zone. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kashul. Yes, don't be afraid of change. I really salute you because you came twice and we were not having our normal meeting, and today you still come on. Wow, what Bohemian person you are. Righty, we're going on to the next topic. Can I have someone? I didn't see any hand, but I remember calling for Kenya. Elizabeth, are you there? Let's go around the world.
There.
Yeah, great. Your topic will be, let me see. Yeah, do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. All yours, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Many people fear failing, and yet it is only through failing that we can know our weaknesses and work on them so that we can strategize for success. You ask people who have been successful, they will tell you they tried very many times before they finally made it. Unfortunately, we fear so much about what people think of us when we fail. So we personalize failure, and that lowers our self-esteem. We don't look at failure as a stepping stone to success. I have failed several times in my life, but rising from failure is another strength that you can never know you have until you fail. So I have risen again and again. And when I look back, I realize that if it were not for those failures, I would never have made it in life, because success that is consistent sometimes make us be so comfortable in our comfort zone, but failure shakes us out of our comfort zone so that we look for something that we can do with our energy. And once we realize that success has come after failure, we become the people that we were intended to become. Over to you, Toast Table Topics Mistress.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, I like what you were saying. Failure is a stepping stone to success. I believe it and I lived it. Can I have another one, right, Samish? We have one more topic. I think we have one more. Who hasn't spoken today?
Kathy is raising her hand.
Who is that?
Maria, Kathy, I'll do it.
Kathy, oh yeah, you, yes. Hi, buddy. That's my buddy in finesse. Yep, for you, Kathy. It is this one. Yeah, from Rockefeller. It is, don't be afraid to give up. What does it say now? It's good to go for the great.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
this is such a great quote.
Yep.
I'm actually in this phase. I'm in a program called Stage Time University that I signed up for in addition to Toastmasters, because I really want to improve my speaking quickly. And I just finished a 77-day Facebook Live, or I'm finishing it today, the 77-day Facebook Live challenge, because I've always been afraid to get on video and talk, even though all of my Toastmasters has been on Zoom this whole time until we started doing hybrid. But now they're challenging us to do a stretch goal. So pushing something, so until the time changes, you have to set a goal and to work toward that goal, which is around November for our time change. And I came to realize when I was working, trying to figure out what that stretch goal will be, is that I have to focus on things. To me, I'm spreading myself too thin. But in order for me to be great, I actually have to focus on what the actual goal is and start chipping away the things that are keeping me from that goal. So in that way, I'm trying to throw away the stuff that is just good and the things I like in order to go for that greatness. Sabri and I have talked about that we're planning to take over the speaking word, and we're going to meet in Paris next year. So in order to go for the great, you have to trim away the things that are keeping you, the distractions. I mean, obviously you need your family and things like that, but what are the things that are keeping you from, maybe even fears that are keeping you from reaching that goal? So make sure that you focus on the things that are the most important, that are most valued, and try to trim away. Sometimes you have to say no to people, which is not easy, but you have to give away those little short-term things in order to get to great. Like if you're on a diet, you maybe have to start getting away from those good things like those treats in order to go for the greatness of reaching that goal that you've been wanting to do. Just a small example. So thank you. This was an amazing quote. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Please unmute yourself, Sabria.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was just saying that, in order to be great, like we're all great people here, we all have given out a lot of the good things in life, right? And we got here where we are, right? Consistency will give you success. So I'm going to pass over the successful table topic over to Toastmasters of the Day. Somish, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabria. Could you please stop this screen sharing? Thank you. Thank you very much. What a bonhomie table topics master we had today. Very interesting topics and excellent answers from each and every person who participated. Congratulations to everyone. We go to the third part of our meeting today, which is the evaluations part. And I would like to hand over to our general evaluator to please run the proceedings of evaluation. Thank you very much, Madhu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Somesh. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, as per your timings. Good day, all the Toastmasters and guests. I am the general evaluator for this meeting. I will evaluate the entire meeting from starting till the end of the meeting, how the meeting went on, what are the positive or recommendations for the improvement. So first, I will go to the evaluation. Now, I would like to request the Toastmaster Rosie to give her evaluation for the Toastmaster Fatima speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator Madhu, Fatma, and fellow Toastmasters and friends. So you started your speech with 143 countries and 221 definitions of leadership. So there's a lot of definition of leadership. And we have some kind of leadership styles in Toastmasters itself. And then in your speech, what I like about it is that you use most of it, the screen that you have with your hands, gestures, and you speak with your enthusiasm, which is really good. But the thing that and then you talk about the three person which you have transformed to become somebody, send them to Vietnam and also to India and so on. So it's like really big things you have done there, and it shows some kind of leadership there. The only thing is that to move your speech, the most important part of evaluation is to move it from good to great, is that the purpose of this, the speech is to give some aspect of leadership style. And I think the key word here is that AI, I would make it AI, like artificial intelligence, not that, but adaptive and inspiring. I think the leadership style that you're showing here is that inspiring, because you inspire people. You're from nobody to somebody getting masters and then becoming ministers and became head the director, executive directors and so on. And they themselves became 3 good friends. So I think the purpose is that is the one thing. The purpose, maybe because of the fact that there are too many definitions and it's a bit difficult to give one purpose or the purpose that Toastmasters suggest here. And the other thing is that probably standing up so that you can actually use the gesture more efficiently by doing that, so that you can move about, and instead of just sitting and you are not able to use the whole entire gesture that you have beautifully there. Okay, and then I suppose I really like your speech because you give us a lot of values, a lot of data there that I was like stunned in first place, because wow, there's so many definitions of leadership, and Toastmasters suggested some of the leadership style that we have to propose here. But in the end, I will tell you, you have AI, which is your adaptive, meaning that you give example of Kathy just now, democratic, so it's adaptive, and then you are very inspiring a leader that I can always look up to. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ruziana. It was a great evaluation because I liked your observation. You noted many points of the speech, that is 43 countries, so 221 definitions, because most of the people who are listening, they will not focus on how many definitions she said. Just they may read what is there in the PPT, but you are a good observer of the speech. For that, it is a great. And you covered all the aspects of the speech, what it should be there. I mean, in terms of the context you spoke, there are the definitions and the countries, whatever she spoke. Then you came to the gestures, the body language after the contents, and the how is the enthusiasm, how is the comfortable. So you analyze the speaker not only in terms of the speaking, you analyzed the enthusiasm, comfortable, everything. So overall, it was a good evaluation. In short, I am telling, and even obviously there should be a recommendation from the evaluator. You gave the wonderful recommendation, that is the suggestion, that is if the speaker would have spoken by standing would be very comfortable. Yeah, it was even it is acceptable. So I liked your evaluation, and because of your evaluation, the speaker received very good feedback and positive points. So thank you. And coming to Toastmaster Fatima's speech, I highlight one thing, that is because I will not repeat again the contents and all, as evaluator said, no type of leader. There is no particular leadership type. It depends on the demand, situation, and the persons. So I learned that one. It was very relevant because there is no particular leadership. It will get cultivated based on the time situations. So it was overall very good speech and evaluation. So congrats to both. Big round of applause to the both. So move on to the next evaluator, that is Toastmaster Lee. I would like to request Toastmaster Lee to evaluate the Toastmaster Maria's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Lee.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Maria, I applaud you for your commitment and service in helping the Little Sisters of the Poor to market the organization through a 4-point action plan to gain the exposure and the financial means needed to meet its obligations. I loved how you shared with us. You enacted their feelings, explained, in the skits, the shows, the music classes, the fundraising events, and even birthday contributions to the home. Well done. You phenomenally shared your experience with us, and you demonstrated a good understanding of the skills required to lead in a volunteer organization. You also showed integrity competency and character in your decisions, in your leadership, and the actions taken. As confirmed in the 360-degree evaluation of feedback received, you received accolades from the top management in helping them overcome their struggles to meet their financial obligations. You identified a point of weakness, as you mentioned, your communication skills. You needed to speak up and be more open. And what did you do? You took up Toastmasters. Well done, Toastmaster Maria. What I would like to offer is some suggestions for you to meet the competencies required for this project. There were 4 competencies listed for this project. You've met 2 of them adequately. There were 2 areas which you may have met, but you did not share with us during your speech. And these areas were to demonstrate an understanding of the importance of recognition and reward in motivating volunteers. You shared with us how proper planning prevents poor prevention, as mentioned by Stephen Keek. But you mentioned also your selection of team members. But how did you identify them? How did you train them? How did you reward them and motivate them? The other aspect of your project was to share with us your succession plan. You shared with us how you succeeded after 2 years, in handing over to your successor. But how did you identify and train your successor to take over from you? The other aspect too was you built from your speech a strong environment of mutual respect. But we would like to hear perhaps some more aspects of how you develop, the mutual respect for each other. In terms of delivery, I loved how you had the slides. One of the things I would like to suggest is the slides took over most of the speech. We would like to focus on you. We want to see your face, your expressions, but you were only a little box in a corner of the screen. So what I would suggest is you can show your slides, share your slides, and then unshare them. And perhaps then share virtual backgrounds of some photos as you deliver your speech. And that will be even more impactful. Finally, I support what Stephen Keek said. Proper planning prevents poor performance. I loved how you are committed. You were committed to servicing, the Little Sisters of the Poor, and I applaud you for your service. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lee. Actually, it was a very very crisp evaluation, because you have not gone through again what the speaker spoke. You gave the advice that was very productive. Even we have also not thought how did Toastmaster Maria selected the fundraisers. So that was the one key point you brought out, and it made us to, yes, the speaker could have brought that in the PPT. That's what it was excellent. And you observed the face expression, the topics, everything. It was a very crisp and very short evaluation. I liked it very much. And coming to the speaker, Toastmaster Maria, I forgot myself when I was listening your story. It was a great speech, because your entire speech, it was depend on the management planning, that it comes for planning, organizing, directing and controlling. All the 4 factors were there in your entire speech. It was excellent. Even as a Toastmaster, we learned many things how we can implement in our life if you want to help any other social cause. So it was a great speech. More than it is very helping nature. It shows your helping nature. Overall, it was a great evaluation and excellent speech. So big round of applause to both evaluators and speaker. Now I would like to request the Toastmaster Toastmaster Rock to give a report.
Mr. General Evaluator, the times for tonight. Fatima, I had you for 6 to 8 minutes for your speech. You had 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Maria was supposed to be 8 to 10, and I had her at 10 minutes and 50 seconds. For evaluations, Those are supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes. Louisiana, you had 3 minutes, 19 seconds. Leahy, you had 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So we need to probably work a little bit into getting our speeches and our evaluations within the time frame that they're actually supposed to be in, and use the overage as a cushion in case you just don't get it quite in. Because if you come up to contest time, these times are getting really close, if not over, for doing eliminations. Table topics were all within time. So good job on all those. Mr. General Evaluator, that's my report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rak. It was very good because you specified the speaker's timings and you saved the times by saying all the table topic masters are in time. So thank you for your quick timing sense for giving in your report. Now I would like to request the hard counter of the today's meeting, Toastmaster Kathy. Can you please give your report?
Thank you. I would be happy to give our report. So Madhu, you had one, in all the things you said today, you had one little so you did excellent on there. Yeah, look, see, I just called myself. I did an and a so I'm guilty also. We have a couple of people that each had their own unique crutch word. So look, I did it again. I'm guilty also. Fatima, you like to use the word now. It seems like you like to connect your sentences with that. So that was your crutch word of the day. Rosie, yours was and a couple of times you actually said and then I know, especially when you're giving an evaluation, it could be a little nerve-wracking. I'm guilty of this too. I have to mentally stop myself. Sorry, there's my clock. Take a breath because I'm just so prone to do that and to lead into the next sentence. So just be aware of that. Let's see. Okay, so we have it now. Other than that, we did pretty good. I just like, sometimes I think we just need to take a little breath when we get nervous because it's real easy for those crutch words, you know, and in case like Maria, she had a really long speech, so it's really can be challenging on that. So just taking a breath before we start that next sentence can cut out some of those crutch words because I'm guilty of it too. I did it right during this report. So back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kathy. It is not only just you read the hard counter reports, how many halves and crutch words, just even you give the advice by saying be aware. So whoever the receiver, it will be there in their mind, okay, Kathy has given the, so I should not repeat it. Thank you so much, doing it in a different way. And the one more important role, that is grammar. So I would like to request the today's grammarian, Toastmaster Satya sir. Can you please give your report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings of the day once again, dear Toastmasters and guests. The word of the day, bonhomie, was mentioned by 3 people, Somesh twice, Maria, and Toastmaster Sabaria. Well, very many of the phrases, good words and phrases have been many. I'll try to speak out few of them. Please don't mind if I have not read out each and everybody's, all of the speeches. Since we are an advanced club, I find that many of us here use the extraordinary good phrases. I'll start speaker 1. While talking about the Care Society, she mentioned, as a leader, you empower other people. So very well said. Education is one thing that will empower a person. About democratic leadership and autocratic leadership. When she talked about autocratic leadership, I remembered Stalin and Mussolini. So that's the connect I got, in fact. Then the speaker 2, Maria, spoke about skeptical. She was skeptical initially. That was quite very well said. Driving factor, proper funds and proper force. That's where I thought, I know proper funds may not be the right phrase. You have legal and illegal funds or dirty money or whatever you say, but proper funds or improper funds, nothing like that is there. Proper funds and proper source is okay. The correct source is okay, but not proper funds. Funds are funds, that's all. Anyway, then next to the purely out of voluntariness that she said people helped each other at the time. Then we found during the table topics, jump out of the box. Teresa, very well said. Do not chase success, chase happiness. Anvita said that. We should not be afraid of change. I think Kaushal said that. It's very well said. These are the very good phrases which I thought we have to retain it for long and use it in our own vocabulary whenever we speak to other people outside of the Toastmasters, what I thought when I heard to all these speeches. Then rising from failure is another strength. I remembered about Dilbert comic, Scott Adams. He has written a book about his failures in life and what he learned about it. It's very well written book. I'm just listening to, once I had read it earlier, I'm listening to the audio book once again. Adaptive and inspiring. Another very well said, but something relating it to AI, the comparison or what you call metaphorical comparison to AI, artificial intelligence, that's also very well said. And finally, integrity, competency, and character. Very well said. With that, I conclude my report on the Gandhi. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya sir. It was a comprehensive grammarian report because you covered all from the starting till the end. Whoever spoke, even you mentioned their name, and it was very friendliness, as our word says. Word of the day says bonhomie. So your report also was bonhomie. Thank you for your report. And coming to the evaluation of the today's meeting, the meeting started at and the TMOD, Toastmaster Somesh, he checked whether all the speakers, evaluators are present. That was a very good timing sense. And once he confirmed that all the role takers and evaluators are there, then he started the meeting. So it was a good starting of the meeting by checking whether all are present. And coming to the other non-role takers, I mean the TMOD of the today's meeting, that is Toastmaster Somesh. It was a great start. As I said, it is checking, that is most important. And you spoke about the theme of the today's meeting, that is consistency to the success. And you give many examples, that is even the theme you connected to the today's situation, that is the corona. Just being the familiar anything, it will be very easy to take it. That is even corona also, it is there in our mindset. It's just corona, that's it. So we are not scaring. So you connected the theme well to the current situation. That is for that, hands up. And you explained again, you explained about the theme, that is Bruce Lee quotes, all those things. It was good and motivating for starting the meeting. You did a good job. And but one advice I can give as a general evaluator, that is you said to give the feedback, time feedback after the two speech, to give the feedback, but the listeners will never, I mean, it is difficult for them to remember the first speakers, what we can give the feedback. Only they can give the feedback immediately after the, I mean, for the second speakers. So I would like to, I mean, advise to give the feedback after every speaker. So not after the sessions. So that is the one. Apart from that, you did a very great job. And then coming to the table topic, masters, yeah, the third session, Toastmaster Savaria. It was a great job because your topics, one first, it was related to the quotes, and there were many motivational topics, thought-provoking, and the way you picked the people, and you gave the opportunity for all the non-role takers and minor role takers and guests. So that is the quality of the table topic master should have, that you did a great job. And even you ask the volunteers, that is also very good because we need to give the chance to the volunteers. But one advice I can give for the table topic masters, that is your screen, it was visible. I mean, once you shared the screens, the topic masters, they will be keep on speaking, but they can't see the timer. And even the timer shows, also it will not be visible to them. So what I would advise, once you have shown that topic, you could have minimized the screen. That would be helpful for the timers to show their time. Apart from that, it was great. You covered and you met the criteria of the table topic masters. Thank you for, please give the round of applause to the table topic master. Okay, I think I covered all the role takers, non-role takers, and yeah, that is my report. I'm handing over back to the TMOD, Toastmaster Somesh.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, for a very comprehensive evaluation. We are 9 past the hour now, so we are a little bit about time. Apologies for that. I would like to close again saying consistency breeds success. It's really important that we continue these sessions that we have every week for 1 hour and keep growing. Every time we do something, we do it a little bit better than the last time. Try and do it a little bit better than last time. Sometimes it might not be. One of the things that I like saying is that, as human beings, we are not robots, So robots are like the people who will do exactly, their efficiency would be 100%. Human beings' efficiency is not 100% every time because we have moods and we have so many other things. So just the most important thing is to realize that even if the moods are bad or whatever happens, we try and meet every week like this, 1 hour, and improve ourselves. So thank you all so much for your time. And let's give a huge round of applause to our guests today, Teresa and Kaushal, for joining us.
Can we fill the role, Somesh, for 2 minutes?
Yes, please do. Please join with that.
I'll share my screen. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, we have the Toastmaster of the day role open. John, would you like to be the Toastmaster next week?
Oma, you asked me, John.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, he says, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone wants to be the table topic master?
I can be.
Thank you, Fatima. GE? Anyone wants to be the general evaluator?
What is my role?
Sorry, who was that? Maria, is it?
Do I have a role there, Anvita? Sabaria here.
Okay, Sabaria.
No, what do I do next week? Nothing.
So, Sabaria, you will be the GE, right?
Oh, okay. All right, okay, why not?
Okay, thank you. Then we have the R counter role.
I can take up that.
Oh, okay.
I can be the accountant.
Okay, thank you. Then we have the grammarian role. Grammarian and timer.
I'll take
What
timer.
would you like to take? Who, Rosie, is it? Oh, who, Rosie, right?
A timer.
Kathy Wilson. Kathy raise a hand. Kathy raise a hand for grammarian. Right? Am I right, Kathy?
Okay, so now we need 2 evaluators.
Nothing. Anvita, you wrote grammarian instead of Kathy's name.
I signed up for it, okay.
Okay, is Dr. Elizabeth there? Do you want to be evaluator, Dr. Elizabeth?
I can try.
Just do it. Don't try.
Okay, we have 1 more evaluator to go. Rocky, would you like to be evaluator?
Madhu raise hand.
Madhu is raising hand, is it?
Gigi for something, but I don't have money in that.
Yeah,
Nita, can you put your video on so that we can take a picture? Yeah, Maria, shall we take a picture? All right, it's in VPR.